Alright guys, so I'm planning a pretty big repair for the 1125. The sprag clutch went out, and so pretty much I'll be doing the procedure as if I'm replacing the charging rotor, because that's what the sprag clutch is attached to. Hey kitty. And I'm just making some preparations. I always preach that patience is key. Hey, shh, stop it. So right now I'm just planning things out. I will need a 3/4 inch drive, 32 millimeter socket for the actual rotor nut. The reason I'm going 3/4 inch drive is because that's the drive of the proper torque wrench, because I'll be torquing to 300 foot-pounds when I'm all said and done. So I need a torque wrench that can handle that range. A 3/4 inch drive is appropriate. So I'm going to have to take off the exhaust here in the bottom, because I will be locking my crankcase in the position to where the front piston is at top dead center. So above my exhaust, you can't really see it, but there's a well up here that penetrates into the crankcase, and I'll be running a rod through my crankshaft to lock it into position. And the rod is rated to take 400 foot-pounds of force, so it's just enough to lock the crankshaft in as I torque down the rotor nut, and also to hold it still while I remove the rotor nut, because the rotor is attached to the crankshaft. So I'll have to pop off my stator cover here. I'll disconnect the stator and everything, expose the rotor so that I can see it. Then I'll lock the crankcase into position after the oil's out of it and everything. And then once the crankcase is locked in position, I will heat up the rotor nut to, I believe, around 300 degrees Fahrenheit to melt the Loctite that's currently on it. Breaker bar to break the nut free, and then remove the nut. Before I remove the rotor, I'll actually take out the bolt holding the sprag clutch to it, because it holds it still, makes it easier. Then I'll pull the rotor and the sprag clutch, and I'll cover the stator area back up. I'll put the cover back on with the bolts on loosely, and because I say the sprag clutch, but it could actually be the supporting components to the sprag clutch have failed and not the sprags themselves. It could be like the housing. So I'm going to take my time and investigate why it has failed. And if it turns out to be the sprags itself, easy peasy. I have some on hand, I'll replace them. If it turns out to be the housing, I'm going to have to drop some more money, and I'll order whatever parts are needed to get it done. And again, patience is key here. I'm in no rush. I'm just going to take my time and make sure that everything is done correctly and torqued correctly, because these are some sensitive components, especially that rotor. If I get it too hot, I can ruin it, you know. And if I don't disassemble the sprags while it's on the bike, I could harm the rotor trying to hold it still in a vise or something. And I'm also going to take measurements of these windows here, so I can put an AC unit in, because I'm not doing this in this 105 degree weather. I'm going to do it in air conditioning. So I'm going to be planning all that. I'm a little sad. I had just changed the oil right before the sprag clutch went out. Now I'm going to have to drain it. And I don't like to put oil back in the bike after it's been drained. So there's another like $50 right there just in oil. But once I get all that done, once I know what's wrong, be pretty easy to slap her back together. I'm also waiting on my Loctite 272 for the rotor nut. I do already have my green Loctite. I do not remember the number of that. And I have the torque wrench on the way. So I'll update you guys on how the repair goes. I'm hoping to get a camera set up so that I can show how I do everything. We'll see how that goes. Thanks, guys.